One of the most frequent questions I get are how and when to think about building a proper executive team. Now, in chapter three, I talked about the 100-person glass ceiling and that many firms stall out at this kind of $10 million ish revenue run rate because it's at this point where a founder needs to scale the firm beyond themselves. So, breaking through from that $10 million business to a $100 million business is almost wholly dependent on your ability to build the right leadership team. Now, there are many different ways to think about organizing your leadership function, but I'm going to give you one that I used and I see most consistently in the firms that I am working with. The first and arguably most important and difficult role to fill is your CRO or Chief Revenue Officer. This individual would ideally be responsible for your entire revenue footprint: marketing, inside sales, new business, client account reps, partner managers. They all would report into this individual to ensure that there is consistency and coordination in your go-to-market strategy. Ultimately, they are responsible for your 20% CAGR, the first 20 in a 2020 business. The next is your COO or Chief Operating Officer. They're responsible for all of the client delivery and the staffing of all your projects. A bulk of the organization is going to report up through this individual, so they need to be intimately familiar with your services and your capabilities and your delivery model, but they also need to have the financial discipline and rigor because they're going to own your 50% gross margin target, ensuring the business is balancing supply and demand and maximizing the profitability of your projects. For every dollar that CRO brings in, your COO is ensuring that 50 cents is coming out the other side. The next is your CFO or Chief Financial Officer, who's responsible for financial planning, accounting, and often a lot of the supporting business functions like legal or HR, IT. But most importantly, they're managing your SG&A. So you're returning 20% to that bottom line or 20% EBITDA. They are also responsible for managing the financial impact of any investments that you're making in the business that we talked about in chapter 5. And so by owning that 20% EBITDA target, the second 20 in a 2020 business, makes this role incredibly important. They're also going to be critical if at some point you want to sell the business or raise capital. And the move from a financial controller to a CFO is not trivial. So you want to be sure that you have the right person in there with the right leadership skills in this seat. Over time, there are other roles that I brought in, like a chief people officer to own the third 20, which is less than 20% employee attrition, and the chief strategy officer who could own all the change initiatives coming out of our one-page strategic plan talked about in chapter 6. So where does that leave you, the CEO or the founder of the business? Your job is to serve, to support each of these individuals as they work to ensure that these critical KPIs are managed effectively. And also to understand where the current constraint of the business is. There's always a constraint. It's rare that our business or our sector is perfectly in balance. In fact, whenever the company was in balance while I was scaling, I would get really uncomfortable. Like, what am I missing here? So your job is to understand what is holding the business back from growing at any given time. Sales, recruiting, delivery, operations, whatever it is, and it moves around. Your job is to ensure that the whole team knows where the constraint is and that the whole team is supporting that individual to get that constraint removed. Remember, everybody on this team needs to win in order for the company to win. Regardless of who is playing what role, the entire team owns all of these KPIs. The last piece of your leadership team is forming an advisory board of industry leaders and customers to serve you and your exec team. More on that in a future chapter. And the last thing I'll leave you with is this. The order that you hire these individuals and the level of seniority that you target should be a reflection of the strengths and weaknesses of the founder. In my case, I had a strong delivery background. I was comfortable selling, But as a trained engineer, the operations and the finances of the business as it scaled were not my strong suit. So a strategic CFO was one of my first hires. I moved to chief revenue officer into the role that wasn't as experienced, but I knew was a good leader. I knew they could learn quickly. I knew they were loyal and they would be with me for the duration of the run. So they were worth investing that time and that training in. Our COO was promoted after demonstrating a consistent track record of client successes and turnarounds and the ability to grow and serve an increasingly global workforce. And after building this team, my job went from being stressful and anxiety ridden to frankly fun and rewarding because I was able to move from making all the decisions to serving and empowering people that I truly cared about. So there is no strict playbook for who you put in these positions and when, but in order to break through, you have to build a team that will allow you to scale beyond the capabilities and the aspirations of the founder. I'll see you next time.